So very tangibly, what does a lab look like? We've been talking a lot more on kind of the conceptual level. So this is sort of a structure of a typical lab, and it also captures the current structure of the engineering change lab. At the heart of it is this microcosm of the system you're trying to change. And from a practicality point of view, we try to limit that group to about 40 leaders representing 40 organizations. And the typical kind of categories of organizations for a typical lab are the ones that have kind of made sense for the engineering change lab as well. So we have companies, government, university, associations, civil society. And so having representatives from each of those, trying to keep the group at about 40 for the workshops, because the heartbeat of the lab is the physical workshops where we bring this group of around 40 leaders together. And during those workshops, we're progressing the big picture thinking of the lab and progressing the portfolio of initiatives or experiments of the lab. So those are shown here. So both at the 3 workshops a year is our current rhythm. We're doing that big picture thinking as a group and kind of deepening that shared understanding, and we're progressing this portfolio of initiatives. What makes labs work behind the scenes is the concept of the project team. So at the moment, we have a secretariat team that's supported by Rio's partners, myself as the first full-time staff. We're actually just in the process of hiring and building out the full-time staff, whose role it is basically to make this platform available for all of the participants to do this work. And the Champions group, so Engineers Without Borders and Engineers Canada were the 2 original co-conveners and have continued on as champions. They've been joined by Concordia University, the Lausanne School of Engineering at York University, and Suncor. So we currently have a group of 5 champions, and there's room to add a little bit more into that group over time. The role of the Champions group is to provide sort of overall guidance and steering to the lab and accountability checks, and also to champion the resourcing functions so that we can have this platform available for all of the participants. So again, all of the participants that are involved in the lab deserve credit for that kind of, for expressing this enhanced type of leadership and working on a systems level. And the Champions group deserve that extra bit of credit for not only leveraging the lab platform for the greater good of the system, but also helping make that platform available for everyone else. So the heartbeat of the lab, which is shown here as these black circles, are the physical workshops where we bring everyone together, and that really kind of helps propel our work together. The initiatives or the experiments of the lab are shown as these other shapes, and they're kind of shown to represent as sort of evolving and changing over time. So the lab is, again, not about just scaling up one idea or certain ideas. The lab is always about learning and testing and changing new things, and that's why you see this kind of evolution in the shapes here.